Right now, something almost magical is happening, and you barely notice it. I am making sounds, or shapes on a screen, and inside your mind, meaning is appearing. Ideas are jumping from my head into yours, across space, maybe across time. We are sharing thoughts, using nothing but tiny puffs of air and learned symbols. No other animal on Earth can do this, not really. Animals call and bark and sing, but not one of them can do what you are doing this very second. Take an idea, any idea, and turn it into words that pour it, whole, into another mind. This power is ours alone, and it may be the single most important thing our species ever developed. Somewhere in the deep past, a human being spoke the first true words, and that moment cracked the world open. Because language didn't just let us talk, it let us think together, dream together, and build a mind far bigger than any one of us. This is the story of how we found our voice, and why it changed everything. Now, you might say, animals communicate all the time, and they do. So what makes human language so different? Think about a monkey's alarm call. Some monkeys have a specific cry for eagle, another for snake, another for leopard. That's remarkable. It's almost like words. But it's also a locked box. The monkey has a small, fixed set of signals, each tied to one thing, and that's all. It cannot combine them. It cannot say, the leopard that ate the snake yesterday. It cannot invent a new call for something it has never seen. That is the great divide. Animal communication is a handful of fixed signals. Human language is infinite. With a small set of sounds and a set of rules, grammar, you can build an endless number of brand new sentences, most of which have never been spoken in the history of the world. You are doing it constantly, effortlessly, without thinking. You can express any idea, including ideas no one has ever had before. And here is the deepest difference of all. Every animal call is about the here and now. Danger now, food now, mate now. But human language can leave the present entirely. You can talk about yesterday, about next winter, about a place 1,000 miles away that neither of us has ever seen, about things that do not exist at all. No animal signal can do that. And that one ability, to speak of what is not here, is the doorway to almost everything that makes us human. So what did this strange new power actually give our ancestors? An advantage so enormous, it's hard to overstate. Imagine two groups of early humans. One can only gesture, grunt, and point, communicating like clever animals. The other can truly speak. The talking group can do things the other can only dream of. They can plan a hunt in detail before it begins. You wait by the river, we'll drive them toward you. They can share exact knowledge. The red berries by the tall rock are poison. The ones by the water are safe. They can teach a child 100 things without the child ever having to learn them the hard, dangerous way. They can coordinate, argue, agree, and act as one. Language turned a group of separate individuals into something far more powerful. A team that could pool everything it knew and everything it could imagine. All the knowledge in every head could now flow between them. A discovery made by one person could belong to everyone by nightfall. This is the invisible tool that may have made us the most dominant creature on the planet. More than fire, more than the spear. Because every other advantage we ever had was multiplied by our ability to talk about it, teach it, and improve it together. Language was the tool that let us build all the other tools. So how did it happen? How did a clever ape start to speak? Part of the answer is written in the body. Speaking is a physical feat most animals simply cannot perform. Over time, our ancestors' bodies changed in ways that made complex sound possible. Fine control over the breath, a voice box positioned to shape a huge range of sounds, lips and tongue capable of astonishing precision. We became, physically, instruments built for speech. And part of the answer is written in the brain. Deep in the human mind are regions devoted to language, to grammar, to meaning, to turning thought into speech and speech back into thought. Somewhere in our evolution, the brain and the body met, and the capacity for true language switched on. Exactly when is one of the great mysteries. It leaves no fossil. But by the time our species spread across the world, we almost certainly carried it with us. But there's a third part of the answer, and it's the one I love most. Language needs a reason to grow, and a place to grow in. And our ancestors had the perfect one: the fire. The long, safe evening hours around the flames, when the work of the day was done and there was nothing to do but sit close in the warm light and be together. That is the cradle of talk. In those firelit hours, there was time to tell, to explain, to remember out loud, to gossip about who did what, to plan and argue and wonder. Some scientists believe those endless evenings around the fire were exactly where language stretched and blossomed, where a few useful signals slowly grew into the rich, endless, storytelling speech that fills every human life today. We found our voice in the dark, by the fire, talking to the people we loved. And once we could speak of what is not here, one door opened that changed the human mind forever. We could speak of things that do not exist at all. Think about what that unlocks. If I can describe the past, I can pass on history, the last great drought, the way our grandparents survived it. If I can describe the future, I can plan for the winter, for the journey, for the hunt tomorrow. And if I can describe things that aren't real, then I can imagine. This may be the true birth of the human imagination, because language let our ancestors build entire worlds out of words. Stories, myths, spirits and gods, and the tales of the ancestors. The rules a group agreed to live by. The shared beliefs that bound thousands of strangers into one people. None of these things can be touched or seen. They exist only in words, passed from mind to mind. And they became some of the most powerful forces in all of human history. A creature that can only signal what is in front of it lives in a small, immediate world. But a creature that can talk about the unseen lives in a vast one, full of memory, of plans, of gods and heroes and possibilities. Language didn't just let us describe reality, it let us invent whole new realities together and then live inside them. Our religions, our nations, our stories, our dreams of the future. All of it is built from the same astonishing trick: words for things that aren't there. And here is where it all comes together, where language becomes the true human superpower. Because words don't just move ideas between people, they move ideas across time. Everything one generation learns, it can now pour into words and pass to the next. And the next generation doesn't have to start over. They begin with everything their parents and grandparents knew and add a little more of their own, and they pass on the whole larger pile to their children. This is the thing no other animal can do. We build a mind that is bigger than any single person and older than any single life. Every human being alive is plugged into a vast, invisible network of knowledge, built by billions of people, most of them long dead. All of it carried on language. The words in your head were poured into you by others. The ideas you think with were invented by people you will never meet. You are, in a sense, thinking with the borrowed minds of everyone who came before you. That is why humans can do what no other creature can. Not because any one of us is so brilliant, alone. A single human is a fairly helpless animal, but because none of us is ever really alone. Through language, we think together, across the whole species and across all of time. We are not a collection of separate minds. We are one enormous, growing mind, stretched across the generations, and language is the thread that holds it together. Take that thread away, and each of us is just a clever ape starting from nothing. Keep it, and we build cities, and songs, and spacecraft, and this very sentence, reaching across time into your mind right now. And that is why language is not just something you use. It is something you live inside. Stop and notice it. You think in words. Your memories are wrapped in language. The story of who you are, your name, your history, your beliefs, your plans, is built almost entirely out of words. Even your quietest, most private thoughts are mostly a voice, speaking silently in your own head. There is almost no part of your inner life that language has not touched. And it connects you to an unbroken line, reaching all the way back to those first firelit words. Every book, every song, every conversation, every message, every video, including this one, reaching you now, is the same ancient power at work. A mind pouring itself into another mind, through nothing but symbols and sound. The first ancestor, who spoke a true word, could never have imagined where it would lead. But you are living inside the answer. We are the animal that learned to talk. And in learning to talk, we learned to think together, to remember across the ages, to imagine worlds that never were, and to become something far greater than any one of us could ever be. Of all the things our ancestors gave us, the fire, the tools, the long, slow climb out of the dark, the words may be the greatest gift of all. So the next time words simply appear in your mind, as you think or read or speak to someone you love, pause, just for a moment, and feel how extraordinary it is. You are using a power no other creature on earth possesses. A power our ancestors found in the firelight tens of thousands of years ago and have passed, mind to mind, ever since, all the way down to you. Every idea you have ever had, you had in words that were handed to you by the countless people who came before. You did not learn to think alone. You learned to think with all of humanity, because one day, long ago, we found our voice. This is the story of the first words, and everything they became. And there is so much more of it to tell. Sit down at the oldest campfire on Earth and follow along. This is Emberkind.
If you made it all the way here, you're already one of us. Subscribe to Emberkind, leave a like, and I'll see you at the next fire.